Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for stopping in here to the Boars Nest. Like to hang out here. Me and my cousin Daisy, cousin Luke, you know, chilling at the Boars Nest. See right behind me, I got the General Lee parked right there for everybody. You can see what do we got over here? That black car right there. How do we go? Is that a Grand Prix? No, Oldsmobile. I can't even tell. It's kind of blurry. Hanging out here waiting for our guest, Cash is King, to stop in. Couple people in here already. Jamie O'Hara getting that front row seat. Thanks for coming in, Jamie. Laura Bruno's in here. Says hi. Hi back at you. Check out that channel. Laura's a good cooking channel. Makes some good food over there. Gary Bates trying to be first. Didn't quite make it. Coming to get his money. Oh, Lord's in here. Says butter, beans, cornbread, and barbecue. You can get all that can be found right here at the Boar's Nest. Till Roscoe and Boss Hog show up, ruin the party. Happens from time to time. They like to chase me around the woods, usually driving. I can usually find a ramp to jump, and then Roscoe follows me, jumps, and always ends up nose diving around his roof, and you know how it is. Oh, here's our special guest right here. Let's bring him on in.
Hey now,
man.
Not much. Losing my voice. Too much screaming, I guess. I don't know.
Somebody's been through downtown Chicago today.
That's right. How'd you know?
Well, you tend to scream when you drive through there. It's just how there's turn signals, and then there's just screaming.
That's
right
true.
on.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So where are you at this fine evening? I'm just chilling here at the Boar's Nest.
Okay, I see that. That's a good spot to be.
Yeah.
Getting some fuel. Getting some fuel for your car. It looks like.
Yep.
I'm over here at the rest area in Black River Falls.
I know the place.
We're over here. You know that place?
I know the place.
Not a bad spot. Got me a front row parking spot here. Not spending the night here, just hanging out for a little while.
One of those stop and goes at the rest area, right? Hanging out in the weeds. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. How'd you know?
Wait your turn.
How'd you know?
Wait your turn. Yeah. We got a full house in here already. No Name stopped in. Says hello. Mike H is in here. I'm gonna drop a link. I tell you what, Cash. I'm gonna drop a link tonight, and
do it.
Invite if some your voice is a little hoarse there. I don't want to stress you. You might have to drive through Minneapolis tomorrow. You're gonna need that voice. Do some more screaming. Let me.
I'm going there tonight. I think I'm going there tonight. Let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna drop a link if anybody in here wants to stop on in, chat it up, introduce yourself. Feel free. Just try and have something to talk about. Introduce yourself.
Right.
Lone Star Transport's in here. Thanks for coming in. Oh, we already got a super chat. How about that? Kelly's Kitchen says, "Yeehaw!" All right.
And for everybody knows, we didn't coordinate. We're matching, but we always match. But
oh god,
we didn't coordinate that.
Oh, I did not plan this. Holy hell! Sometimes it's a little scary, isn't it?
Oh man, I'm telling you.
Both of our wives think this is a little bit weird, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Kelly's Kitchen. Driving with John's in here. He's gonna watch, but he's got a bad signal. Catch us later.
Okay.
So yeah, where you been? Where are you on your way to?
I got a load from the Port of Delaware, also known as the Port of Hell, going to Minneapolis.
Oh, nice. How did that pickup in the Port of Delaware go for you, sir?
100% misery. I'd rather go to pretty much, I don't know, it's got to be the most like for a port, it's unorganized. So,
Yeah, ports aren't exactly known for being the best places in the world to go. Did you have to bust out that TWIC card? How did that go?
I don't have a TWIC card. Had to pay $60.
Oh, you got them TWIC card blues, don't you?
Gave me the blues. I got to be honest.
You got them Port of Delaware blues.
Yeah, but the broker reimburses, so I get my $60 back.
Okay. All right. That'll work. That'll work. You got to pay. You got to pay the 20% on that.
No. No, that would have come back to me in full.
All right. Good deal. So how about them? Well, what do you got there? Loves.
Yeah, a little bit of Coke Zero there.
Mm.
You know, we're burning Love's fuel in this Freightliner Cascadia. We're running Michelin tires, doing real good today. Drinking Coca-Cola Zero from Love's. I'm the NASCAR driver of trucking. It's all about the brand. You know, got to get brands in there.
Get all them keywords in there. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Wearing Hanes. You know, wearing these Hanes, rocking these Great Value pants.
Get them at Walmart.
Yeah, ain't that the store brand over there? Great Value.
Yeah.
I'm rocking Great Value pants. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you're in Quick Trip country, so
yeah,
and we prefer Pepsi over here. So, you know.
Yeah. I got you. At Love's, Coke Zero is more abundant than Diet Pepsi. So, you know, when we you know,
Mountain Dew works as a green screen.
Damn.
Nice to know for future.
We're running on this. I crushed the can, you know, because I was so excited earlier. But we're rocking this Monster. You know, get you a Monster beverage. I'd recommend this sugar-free, zero sugar watermelon.
It is good.
Yeah, it goes real good with your favorite Kraft macaroni and cheese and whatnot.
Lone Star Transport wants to know if you got more animal feed or was that a different port? No, that was the port you went to where you had to pay the toll twice, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to make sure we clarify. I don't want to be confused.
That was the John Key something bridge, I think.
All right. No names in the house. He dropped a $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. He's interested in knowing how reefer drivers run their clocks. Do you commonly have to run bad hours like 5 p.m. start, 5 a.m. end? Parking is big time pain. Thanks. No name. It is a struggle every day when you're a reefer driver. If you sit in the dock, you run the worst hours possible. A lot of times you're split logging, and it's a struggle to get through every day. I'd like to tell you how you do it, but what I'm going to say is every day is different. You do what you got to do to make it all work because them grocery warehouses can be a big pain. We got a celebrity coming in. Go ahead.
You pay for parking. That's what you do. You reserve parking spots when you're a reefer driver and you're in tight hours. Reserve parking. Pay that $15. Get it done. That's why I like doing the load. I've been doing those French fry loads from Minnesota over to Maryland because I get priority on those. And
now I know how you hurt your voice. You're them French fried potatoes. You're probably going down the road saying that all day. Your best sling blade.
Yeah, biscuits and mustard this morning for breakfast.
I'm gonna bring a friend of mine in. I'm glad he dropped in. Let's see how he do. There he is, right there. Mike is in the house. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Good. What are you up to this evening?
Washing laundry.
He's toting his wash. So, introduce yourself a little bit, Mike. What's up with you? What are you doing these days?
Well, I basically am driving for a company, doing Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota primarily, but do go into Wisconsin, a little bit of Iowa, once in a while Missouri. You know, I'm not afraid to go anywhere, so boss don't mind it.
There you go. And you got that. You're kind of pulling mostly for a certain store, right? A lot of store deliveries and stuff dedicated.
Yeah, we run a contract for a farm supplies place that's synonymous with Minnesota and South Dakota and North Dakota. The stores that we cover are primarily in North Dakota and South Dakota, and then we service their DC centers in Minnesota, South Dakota, and we got 2 in South Dakota, and then That's primarily what we do.
All right. All right. Well, I'm glad you came in. Now, what's it going to take for us to get you to start a YouTube channel? You got a lot to talk about. Mike's
I'm actually
kind of
working
been
on
in Mike's been in the industry a while. Been company driver, owner, operator, independent. Got some interesting stories to tell, and is a wealth of information. So, we'll watch. What are you going to call that channel over there?
Beats me. I'm working on it. I've actually spent some time this weekend working on some stuff. So
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. So, you have an interesting story to tell. Do you want to do it tonight, or you want to do it another time?
well, I hate to be the center point of everything tonight.
Well, I can probably put you right in the center here. Let's see. No, we'll rearrange here. Yeah, I don't know. There we go. Good enough.
That's fine right there.
Okay. All right. No, so kind of wanted to come on and tell a story about just kind of a cautionary tale of how things can go wrong. Start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning. Well, when I was a wee itty bitty truck driver out of truck driving school, I started for a company in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And that's the same company that Adam drove for when he was a wee bitty truck driver at one time.
That's right.
Adam and I, we've known each other for, 20 years, 22 years, right in there.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, I think you're the one that's probably should be sorry that you've known me that long, but I'm kind of a messed up in the head.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
I've myself, I have made money in every aspect of trucking, whether it's been a company driver, lease operator, or a independent, and I've lost money in all three. Just depends upon how you look at it. My job that I had in Wisconsin, it was my fault. I lost my job because I rear-ended somebody. Now, I didn't cause that big of damage to the car, but the company's policy, you rear-end somebody, you're gone. I got what I deserved.
What didn't happen to be in Gatlinburg, was it?
No, that actually was in Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. All right.
It's just one of those things that idiot mistake as a young driver and so forth. And I was tired that day and saw the light turn green, didn't pay attention to the car in front of me and just kept rolling, and I learned a valuable lesson.
Okay. What happened after that?
Oh boy. Yeah.
You can fast forward. You can fast forward a bit if you want.
Well, no, this is actually a good little tale. I went to leased onto a frozen carrier out of Texas, Dallas, Texas, and one of those fleece purchase operations that you have there, and 80 cents a mile freight and so forth. Oh yeah, that was a wonderful deal. That was a wonderful deal. I learned a very hard lesson as far as your being a lease purchase operator for a big carrier.
Okay.
Yeah, and then from that, I actually took a little hiatus for a couple of years out of the truck because I got married. She had a boy who was 8 years old, and well, that to me just wasn't the life to raise a kid, even though it wasn't my own kid. It just wasn't the life to raise a kid, and so it was one of those deals that once he started getting a few years under his belt, she looked at me. She said, "You don't go back driving. The two of you are going to kill each other." And she said, "I'd probably kill you first before I'd kill my own kids." So, so went and bought another truck.
Yeah.
Well, and then I leased onto a company out of South Dakota, and was hauling grain across the countryside. Loved that, but I was doing what hauling distiller grain, and customer that we had that purchased the distillers and sold it stored a bunch of the distiller grain out on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
And well, back, oh gosh, what was it, 07, we were really wet over here in South Dakota, and been going out to this farm and things started getting really wet. The prior week to this happening, I told the guy that was dispatching me, I said, we can't be going out there. I said, my God, I'm got mud all the way up to the hubs on the axles out on this farm road. Well, this is all we got, take it or leave it. So I went back out there. Well, gravel road gave out, going around the corner, and well, totaled my brand new trailer, and the drive axles were perpendicular to the tractor after
Ooh.
the trailer went down in the ditch.
Man, probably twisted the frame and everything, huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, the whole frame ended up having to be reboxed on the truck in order for the truck to get back on the road. But that was the end of that truck for me. The insurance company took that whole deal and totaled it out. And then the guy that I leased it from, he had bought it back because I'd rebuilt the motor in that thing. We put $34,000 into the motor into it.
Wow.
So I had just enough money saved up where I went and bought my own truck outright, no lease purchase or nothing. I didn't buy it outright, but I financed it. A company that a lot of you guys know about, Lone Mountain Truck Leasing. And just a word to the wise with them, they got a program that works.
It's not the worst thing in the world. It's
No.
not what do you think about that, Cash? Lone Mountain. I mean, there's worse deals out there. You know, if a guy looking to get started,
Yeah,
got a
if
good
you
down
got some
payment.
credit issues and stuff like that, it's definitely worth looking at.
Do you oh, go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
Cash, you came across this, what is it, Was Tech leasing?
Yeah,
you're looking at this
there's a
other
couple,
lease thing?
right. Yeah, there's a couple people on YouTube doing that.
What's the details on that? You looked into it.
Yeah, it's basically a brand new truck, brand new Freightliner, $10,000 down. It's a full maintenance lease. It's $680 a week for 4 years, and then it's a $47,000 buyout. So it comes up to about 192, 197, I think. 192 is what you end up paying for the truck.
That's pretty expensive, but I mean, in 4 years, you're going to use several sets of tires. You're going to have, you're going to have some stuff. But the thing is, though, also in that 4 years, most of it should be under warranty on a brand new truck.
Right. Yeah,
So
you get a 4-year, 600,000 mile warranty. So.
Oh, so really all they're on the hook for is tires and oil changes, basically, right?
I mean, there's other maintenance, you got to do in that 4 years. But yeah, I mean, yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, it's not the worst. It's not as bad as a lease purchase. But Lone Mountain, I would probably sooner do a Lone Mountain type deal than like a lease purchase from the mega carrier. What do you think?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you got that truck from Lone Mountain. Then what?
Well, about 2 years after I bought it, I was coming back from California with the truck and going across Wyoming. Parked the truck over in Rollins at the TA. Everything's running fine. Wake up the next morning and it's just running completely terrible. I mean, I had black smoke just pouring out of it and she just was not running. She was not healthy. Lo and behold, I got it back to South Dakota. I managed to limp it back, and yeah, well, it was one of those trucks that, or one of those Cummins engines that the camshaft went out, and when it did, it took out the whole top side of that motor. Had to put a new head and everything in it. So I end up basically refinancing it for an extra year of what the payments were and whatnot, so I could redo the top end of the motor. But that was fine. I got it all paid off, and I was at the point with that international that I had that, do you stick $40,000 into it for a truck that's maybe worth 20 when you're done with it, or do you buy another truck? So I ended up buying another truck with through Lone Mountain again, Kenworth T660.
That was a pretty decent truck.
Yeah, not too bad. Well, we've got some repair videos that we've done, you and I, on that truck.
Oh yeah, that was that truck. What now, being that you had a Cummins ISX, what's your opinion of people that want to, I don't know, take those and have those things deleted? What do you think about all that?
New ones, don't do it.
Yeah.
The 2010, like I had, the 871 model motor, run your emissions. If you're not having emissions issues with it, run it as it is till you start noticing some problems. I don't put a pom-pom on for anybody for anything, but I ran the scan gauge from the Kool-Aid drinker outfit there, and what was nice about that is that told me what my emission system was starting to do as far as my DPF temperatures before and after. And I started seeing that I wasn't getting the temperature like I needed to be with the regens going down the highway.
Right.
And so I deleted it myself, had the programming done online,
Allegedly.
and so forth.
Allegedly.
Yeah, well, I don't care. I don't have the truck anymore.
Okay. All right.
But I wasn't upset with that. But there is one problem that you run into when you do a delete on. I honestly feel it's with any of the emissions engines that are out there, because of carbon packing, and especially with the Cummins, the cylinders like to dance in the Cummins engine. It wears the bushings out between the block and the piston kits, or the cylinder sleeves. And when you start cleaning them up, where you're not putting all that EGR back into the engine, well, all that soot comes loose in there from oil changes.
Mm-hmm.
You start dropping liners, and you end up having to rebuild the motor. Just no two ways about it.
Right.
It will happen.
So it's not a solve all remedy type thing.
No.
It can actually, potentially create some problems also.
Right. And one of the things that I've noticed when I did my delete, the guy that I had do the programming and whatnot, I told him, I said, I don't want all kinds of horsepower. I that's not what I'm about. I said, I'm more on the fuel efficiency side. I said, I do like to be able to pull a hill, but it's not the all end world. Well, I had a 400 ST. We took it up to a 475 ST. We went from 1550 torque to 1750 torque, and that 1750 torque was a night and day difference as far as the how a truck operates going up and down a hill.
Okay.
But I do know other people, close friends of mine, that have really cranked up the horsepower in the ISX, and well, nothing left of the motor when they were done with it. The longevity of the ISX just is not there when you start. If they're not built from factory to begin with at that horsepower, they're just not going to last.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing that I will say regarding the Cummins, any of the Cummins reman parts, their starters, their
turbos,
actuators, any of that stuff, stay far away from them. They're done in Mexico. and they're done to the let's put it this way, when they return that core down to Mexico, those people are told down there, if it's within specs, even the very bottom of the specs, put the part back in. They don't rebushing them or anything like that. They just rebuild them like that. I went through 3 turbos on that truck before I finally found an outfit out in California that actually rebuilds the turbo, and that was a good turbo. Each of the Cummins turbos from OEM, junk. Just barely get a year out of them and they'd pop.
Yeah. Let me take a second, catch up on some comments here. Ozzy Selfax is in here. Appreciate you. TJ Jones, welcome, sir. Sling Blade himself is in here. Talking about them French fried potatoes. Ozzy Selfax wants to know, what are your thoughts on glider trucks, and would you advise it for first-time owner operators to buy one? I like them. They're pretty pricey right now. You're going to pay a premium for a glider truck. So if you're wanting to pay that price, that's I think it's a good truck. But you're going to pay the privilege. Marty saying tomorrow, was it the Boar? It was not. Maybe it was. Maybe it was not. Gary Bates says, hey, I got bananas out of there. Lone Star Truck Transport. Mike did what a lot of us do when the light turns green. Yeah, you go get yourself a truck. Yes, sir. Gary Bates says, rail roll is not bigger than the state of Indiana. I'll take your word for it. I don't know what that means. Vic Med in the house. Hey, Vic. Jump in here a little bit if you want. We'd love to talk to Vic. Great guy, great channel. Check out his channel. And also check out Cash is King Trucking's channel. Definitely my brother here.
Thank you.
Marty's saying stainless steel inserts and 4000s raised up liners can help keep that from happening. Gary Bates wants to know how trailer lease works. We'll come back to that in a little bit. That's a good topic. But let's fast forward a little bit, Mike. So long story short, things didn't kind of work out for you in the end. Also, you went through some health stuff along the way. If say what you used to be, what you are now. If you think anybody's interested, or if you care to, and that might be some content for your channel also. But what ended up happening down the road a little ways?
Well, after I had got out of the truck there for that couple of years, my health went. At that time, my health was going downhill already. And come to find out, my thyroid quit working. And it took a couple of years for that to actually settle back out and whatnot under doctor care or whatnot. But I was up over 800 pounds at one time.
Whoa.
And today I went in for gastric bypass surgery. I'll be honest with anybody, I don't put the pom-poms on for it, but if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be here today. I'd be dead. Because when I went in on that surgery table, they're not going to lift your fat ass up on that table off of a gurney. You're awake going into that operating room, and you move yourself onto that table. And I looked at the doctor. I was so miserable in life. I looked at the doctor. I said, if I bleed, let me bleed out. I really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I woke up. Well, it was probably a day and a half later that I actually woke up from it, knew where I was at and whatnot. But so that was 2008. So here we are, 2021, and I'm still at I'm at my high school weight yet, 350 pounds.
Wow,
I've maintained that through the whole time frame. So if I'm weigh the same as what I did in high school, well, I guess the biggest thing, I just don't have the muscles like I did coming out of high school.
I don't think any of us do.
So, but health is a big issue for us out here, guys. I'm going in for an MRI tomorrow. I've got a screwed up back and so forth. And you got to take care of yourselves. And I've been putting it off because, well, it wasn't my choice. insurance company is the one that's been putting that off as far as that goes. But yeah, just keep after it. Don't lose hope on it if you're struggling with health issues out here.
Yeah, definitely. Then carrying extra weight around like that can have long-term, effects, and I deal with a little bit of that. I think we probably all do a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So spin out, after the international, I got the 660 and was leased onto a couple carriers. Made really good money with both carriers. Better at one than the other. The last one I was leased onto. Well, he was a friend of mine, somebody that I worked with at the very first company as a company driver.
Not me. Not me, by the way.
No, but it's a common interest of Adam and mine.
Right.
And made really good money. He asked me if I would lease onto him, and I told him, I said, well, if you say what you can do, I said, I will give you 6 months. And he did everything that he said he could do, but what that allowed me to do was put a bunch of money away and, get the down payment for getting my own authority, getting that all lined up. I mean, I started on that took me about 3 months. I just systematically got everything in order as far as doing the authority, getting the insurance, and all that stuff. It's just the way I did it. It made it affordable for me to do it that way and not affect the finances at home.
Right.
And as far as the rest of the stuff with the trucking and whatnot too.
Yeah.
I'm one of those crazy guys out there that the first trailer that I bought, paid $6,200 for it. Reefer trailer. Put a new reefer unit on it. I was told by the one carrier that I was leased onto that I bought nothing but a piece of junk trailer, and that thing should be in the salvage yard. Well, 6 years after I was with them, I just looked at the guy when I left. I said, now look at what that $6,000 trailer made me during this time frame. But I said, it didn't put it in your pocket using one of your trailers. And we haven't talked a whole lot after that guy and I.
That's all right. That's all right. You went on with your own authority, and how did all that go?
Well, starting out, it actually went pretty good. We were having pretty good time there in end of 2017, 2018. Yeah. And the 2017 rate started going up pretty good. And I went and pulled the plug on it in 2018 and started out really good. I mean, I was making money hand over fist, and it was good. It was really good. I will say this for people that are going out and getting your own authority. Well, what do I do if brokers won't broker loads to you? Well, if we're in a light freight time period, you might have more of a problem finding a freight. But with my new authority like that, I had 2 companies over that time frame that wouldn't do anything with me.
Right.
Other than that, I was able to find freight.
Okay.
And just don't be afraid to make phone calls. When it comes to the load boards, you got to continue to make the phone calls.
Right.
And I worked my way up where I had direct customers. I had loads coming out of Minnesota going down to Texas for a direct customer, and then out of Texas right back up to the Dakotas.
Right.
And so forth. It's possible even in your first year with your own authority. But there's the challenges. As things start to taper off, people do want to cut your rates on you, and it happens.
Yeah, and life gets in the way too.
Oh yeah. Well, one thing that happened, that $6,200 trailer, I was at Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis, and the guy loaded me up. I went to pull it out of the dock, and you got to slide your axles, to make scale or make weight and whatnot. couldn't get my axles to slide. And I'm just like, well, what the hell? Yeah, my trailer split in half lengthways.
Lengthwise.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was the length of the trailer that the trailer split. So what ended up happening is it actually arched the center of the floor up, and it was putting such a bind that the axles couldn't slide.
Oh.
So when I was all said and done with that, it was $600 to have a company come in with a little flatbed truck and a forklift, a small forklift to get me unloaded.
That ain't bad.
And then I was actually very grateful. Didn't have we had some pallets that were tipped pretty hard to the side of the trailer, but there was no damage or anything, and we got all offloaded and whatnot. And that's when I end up having to buy myself another trailer.
Right.
Yeah. Bought a 2010 Wabash. Got that for a really good price at the time. It was $24,000. And at that time, that was actually a pretty good deal on trailers. And from that point on, after that, things just kind of spiraled out of control.
The downward spiral or upward spiral?
Where
do we go here? You want to put some bets on this, Cash? Up or down?
Most of the time when people say spiral out of control, it's not good.
No.
Well, the first 8 months after having buying that trailer, things were going really well, and all of a sudden I started having some transmission issues, automatic transmission in it. So, it is what it is. You start working with things and so forth. Well, I was on my way back home to go start getting some work done on the transmission. My rear structure, the ISX, was leaking oil too, so I figured, well, pull the transmission off, we'll just take care of a bunch of shit on it. I mean, put new motor mounts in it, new O-rings in the rear structure, put a new clutch in it, input shaft, new seals on the transmission, just a lot of stuff to the tune of $23,000, because I ended up that was the last fourth and final turbo that I put on that motor too, because yeah, Cummins turbo suck, but that's all I'll say about that. But I end up having to get towed in and so forth because the turbocharger went out on the way to the guy's shop.
Right.
So, it's just one of those things that it happens. But the shop that I went to, I still recommend the guy to other people out on the road. He's not a bad mechanic and so forth. I just think the automatic transmission was up and beyond his comprehension as far as troubleshooting it out. Over about a 4-month time period, in that transmission, I had a little over $10,000 into that transmission with him, because other than replacing the whole gearbox itself, I replaced every part that bolts onto it.
Right.
And still couldn't get it. And I told him, I said, why don't you just pull the transmission back out and just check and make sure that it isn't the pilot bearing in the flywheel, because that's all it takes for the what my problem was with my transmission is the clutch was sticking. Mm-hmm. And there was no springs or anything like that from the new clutch in the bottom of the inspection cover or whatnot. Well, that's the only other thing that's not going to allow things to release as far as the clutch goes.
Right.
But because of all of that part right there, and then my now ex-wife deciding that she didn't want to be married to a guy anymore.
Well, wait a minute. What? What happened? How did that happen?
Yeah.
Was there Did you get papers or anything, or just what happened there?
I was on my way to Sioux City from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I get a phone call from my then wife. When are you going to be in Sioux City? Well, I told her. She said, "Well, I need to meet you." Well, why? I just need to meet you. She had my dog that normally was with me in the truck, but I had been having AC problems with my truck. I got them fixed out in Cedar Rapids myself. It was just one of those things. I had booked a load and had the problem, and I with that load being booked like that, I had to get it squared away. So I left my dog at home because I'm not going to let her suffer with no AC in the truck, and it was 90 degrees outside at that time.
Right.
So I got that fixed. On my way over to get my reload in Sioux City, she meets me over there, hands me divorce papers, and I'm just like, why?
At the truck stop?
At the truck stop, she met me and served me divorce papers.
That's a little harsh.
Wouldn't give me a reason why or nothing like that. Well, a year later, she finally tells me why. Well, she decided that another woman was more of her style.
Damn.
So yeah, this is getting to be like the country music song that you've never heard before.
Wow. That's now, is that harder? How is that? I mean, is it harder to take or is it easier to take? Like having her leave you for a woman instead of a man?
I don't know. Even to this day, I don't know. I would like to say some choice words on here, but I'm trying to keep it family friendly. So, it's just absolutely messed up.
Well, we'll go into it more another day. I don't want to take your whole night and we tease it a little bit. Yeah, man, that's a truck driver's life, man. Huh, Cash? You ever been served divorce papers at a truck stop?
Can't say that I have. Can't say
no,
that
me neither.
I
hope I never do. Especially that was like probably a 200-mile drive for her to come do that, wasn't it?
About 230 miles. Yes.
That's a person that wants to get her done right then and there, right now.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Bet you guys didn't see that coming, so it was worth hanging out for.
Yeah, all I can hear is the Dixie music playing in the background myself.
Yeah. Hey, we're just hanging out here at the Boars Nest, me and my cousins.
Exactly.
Right.
Trying to stay away from them revenuers. But
right.
Yeah. Let's catch up on some comments here. Appreciate it. No Name says, not sure if I want to buy a brand new truck with all the bells and whistles or buy an older truck and add the stuff I want. I pretty much live out of the truck. It's what you can afford. Like I said, the middle ground ain't a bad place to be. Right. And then he says he's curious if there's a lot of customers that require a truck with certain equipment. I think I've heard some places require only new to haul their freight. Any info on this? Maybe some bigger ones may, but I've never encountered that. You're obviously not going to California if you buy an older truck, which, hey,
right,
that ain't so bad. I don't go. Asian Mai's in the house. Hey, buddy, thanks for coming in. Great channel.
Age of trailer is probably the one thing that could be a limitation on some loads.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if it's a reefer or even in the paper business, a drive-in. 7 years or newer, a lot of them want.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for, No Name, if you're looking for a truck, don't be afraid to hit up the Asian Mai here. They sell trucks. They help you finance. If you're helping a little trouble, there definitely can help you. Customers won't care about crash avoidance and software. Insurance company might like it, but they're never going to really ask you. Get what you want. Don't worry about what somebody else wants you to have. You get what you want, man. All right?
Yep.
Get what's going to make you money.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephen Davis says, I can relate. I'm a lesbian trapped inside a man's body. So you know what it's like, Stephen Davis. Probably don't cheat on yourself. But what do you think? Did you see that coming, Cash?
No, that was I didn't know where that was going, but
I lived all
That's
that
quite a
with him.
story.
I
Okay.
lived all that with him. That was it's quite a wild ride, and it's a lot of all this seems like it happened over a long period of time, and it didn't. It kind of hit all at once, and there's the thing to be learned is it can happen to anybody, and just because sometimes somebody goes out of business or chooses to do something else or whatever you call it fails, hey, there's more than just the business part of it. Life is a big part of this industry and this job. So, hey, yeah, that would be rough. I wouldn't want to go through that. I
Well, I'll
wouldn't look forward to that.
give you guys a little thing to chuckle at. She called me up after our divorce was actually finalized, and she said, "Well, let's kind of take care of some of the financials here at the house." So, and I still had not found out why she divorced me yet at this point in time. This is a year later.
Okay.
So I go over to the house. She said, "I need you to sit down." So I sit down. I said, "What's the big deal?" And that's when she came out and told me why she divorced me and so forth. And all I could do when she told me that, and you got to know me to understand this, I just looked at her square in the face. I said, "Would you at least let me have some popcorn and watch?"
Oh, jeez.
And
Oh, man.
mind you, I was married to this woman for 16 years. So, and she knew me, and she had that look of disgust, but yet complete admiration for me because I had a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, I don't care who you are. That's funny right there.
Because you know what she does in her life is what she does in her life. I don't care. As long as it affected me at that point in time, yes, but it just, you move on in life.
It's better than going the other way with it and getting mad and doing something stupid.
Exactly.
It doesn't do anybody any good. But that's pretty funny. Well, you made it through. You are where you are now. Any thoughts of ever being an owner operator again?
I do have the thoughts, but I am also looking at other business ventures. I'm actually a computer geek by trade. I had my own computer business. I was contracted with General Motors before they became Government Motor Company, and so forth. I won't go back into that, but I'm on the fence, and honestly, right now, me being a company driver.
Apparently, so was she.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Catch, hit that harmonica one time.
Where's that at? Where's that?
Where that? Give me some of that sweet harmonica music. Go ahead and sing them blues, Mike. Go ahead.
Right now, me being a company driver, I'm making really good money with the guy that I work for. The ELD has basically made us all robots out here, irregardless, because you're always fighting this clock, because trucking is not what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
As far as that goes, we're nothing but a disposable piece of hamburger that down a garbage disposal now because of the clock and whatnot. And yes, back in the day we ran illegal, but we also got our sleep too.
We did not. I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did.
Well, my body would tell me when I'm tired, I'd get my sleep. But
yeah,
it is what it is. If you're not willing to change within the industry is going to force you out, and that's why I say your health is very important. A
lot of changes coming. A lot of changes coming in this industry.
Yeah. And it's going to get worse. Adam and I, we were just talking last week, and one of the things that I foresee coming here, he says 5 years. I say 5 to 10, if not 15, but full-fledged autonomous trucks. Because
5G is going to make it happen.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. And it's not taking them, it doesn't take that long to do the infrastructure because the cell towers are already there.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think everybody saw it's not going to happen in my lifetime. We're years away from that. Tell you what, 5G is a game changer. People don't necessarily understand the ramifications of it, of how powerful it is and what it really is. It's the guidance system for whatever the hell they want to do with autonomous trucks, with anything in your life. 5G will make it happen.
Yep. Yeah, well, and they're even talking getting up into the 12 gigahertz spectrum now too, and that's like the 8G. I mean, they're already forethinking this that far forward with all this stuff, the different wavelengths and whatnot. I went to aviation electronics and was in the radios and wavelengths of antennas and whatnot, but that's very significant as far as the communications go because airplanes use it. Now they're talking about putting it in the everyday life type of deal and whatnot. It's going to change our lives, not just our jobs, but our lives, period.
In ways that people can't imagine.
Exactly.
But I want to talk about a little bit, Cash, bring in on this. We've been talking a lot about fuel cards and discounts and stuff, pricing and that. What do you use? Like, I have a ComData card, I have an ES card. I've made it known what I have. We use the Mudflap app. What do you use for fuel cards and fuel purchasing and stuff like that?
I'm about 50-50 on Mudflap and an EFS card right now.
Okay. EFS card through your company?
No, I got it through a third-party company.
Oh, okay. All right. You have some kind of fuel card through your company, all right?
I mean, they offer one. I don't use it.
Oh, you don't use it? Okay.
Yeah, it's not enough of a discount to use.
So, as a person that's leased onto a carrier, and I'm asking because you're in this situation, and they offer a fuel card that's really not that good, puts you in a situation to kind of go out and find your own discounts. Obviously, we talk about Mudflap. Go ahead and throw out your promo code. But you're looking at some other fuel cards. Have you had any luck? Like, what are the deals that you're finding?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few out there. If you search, if you Google, fuel discount cards, you'll find a few out there. But I don't know. I'm having a hard time finding something that can beat Mudflap consistently, honestly. Bought fuel today on Mudflap, so it's tough.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've been noticing too. As fuel goes up, Mudflap's only been getting better. Like when prices were lower, and discounts they were good, but you could find better. They've been beating the pants off my Nastic. Might drop my Nastic pretty soon. They're pulling some shady crap. I'll get into it. I want to call them and talk to them about it before I say what it is. I've added some trucks and added some fuel cards, and they're raising my fees, and I'm not happy about it. And it's going to come to where I might just have to drop them. So I'm looking for another. I don't know if everybody knows, but EFS, ComData, that's just a fuel card. You can link it to different networks. Like you can link your EFS to OOIDA, you can link it to Nastic, you can link it to RTS, blah, blah, blah. So I'm looking for a different network to link it to because Nastic is dropping the ball, and I'm about to quit them altogether, move everything I have out of there. Any thoughts, any ideas where to go? I've looked into a bunch. There's a few more I'm going to look at. Are you ready to talk about the one that you've been trying or not? Not really.
No, not really. I mean, it's not that great. Yeah, well, yeah, honestly, it's not that great. I really push people to Mudflap. I do better on Mudflap. Today, coming from Chicago to Minneapolis, the cheapest I could find or the best deal I could find was on Mudflap, and it was 20 cents better than anything I could find on EFS. So, 20 cents a gallon. So, I mean, it's, and no fees. That's the big thing. Because this EFS card will eat you alive in fees.
Yeah, yeah. Did Does your company have any issue with you using something outside their network, and then because obviously they got to reconcile it with your IFTA and all that? They don't care. You just use it and send in the receipt, or what?
Yeah, as long as you turn in the receipts, that's all they want.
Interesting. Okay. I always like to hear from a perspective of somebody that's leased on with somebody, because I don't always get that side of it.
Yeah, our discount's 19 cents. The company card is 19 cents a gallon at Love's and TA Petro.
That's not very good.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we're routinely seeing discounts, 50 cents plus. Oh, it's got to be said though, at Casey's, their fuel is already a good price. So the flat across the board at Casey's 20 cents. You're talking about a price that was already pretty low. So you got to compare that bottom price there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just interject something here too. When I was leased onto the carrier out of South Dakota here, I was seeing the 50, 60, 70 cent discounts with their fuel card. It was a ComData card, but I also had NASTEC because their ComData card for the discounts, I was only at like the Love's was the best discount. The next discount, the lower tier was the TA Petros, and then we got like 5 cents a gallon off at the Pilot Flying J. And I told them, I said, well, we need to expand this out. Well, their excuse was, well, you can still use your card wherever. Well, this company does a lot of stuff in Minnesota. Well, the Minnesota doesn't have TA Petros, Pilot Flying J's, or Pilot Flying J's are there closer to the cities, but you're going out of your way most of the time when you're just doing some of the in-state in Minnesota to buy the fuel. So I had a NASTEC card at the same time, and there was a lot of times even like going into the TA Petro, I was beating with the NASTEC card. I was beating their fuel card price at the TA Petro type of deal. But when I had my own authority, I had multitude of cards. Just for the simple fact is, I was shopping my fuel. I was getting my fuel at the cheapest place possible as a single operator.
I'm a big fan of carrying multiple cards and multiple ways to pay for things. You got to shop for that best price, because I think what's going on with NASTEC is they're starting to keep more of that discount for themselves. I think they're getting a little bit greedy there.
NASTEC's a for-profit company.
Well, so am I.
Exactly.
Vic says he's using a Fuel Man card. Vic Med says he's using a Fuel Man card, and they're jacking it up. I'm not saving nowadays. Down there in Southern California. I don't know if Mudflap is in Southern California. Do you happen to know, Cash? Let me take a look here.
I got to jump off here.
Yeah, okay. All right, thanks for coming in, man. We'll do it again.
You bet. Later.
All righty, my man. So yeah, hey, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I wanted to get more into that. Was that Watach or Wasatch leasing thing?
Yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued by it. This is an expensive truck. I mean, I don't know that I would necessarily buy that truck, that expensive a truck in the first place, because kind of doing the math, you say it comes out to be about $190,000 for that truck. I mean, how many trucks?
Yeah, it's about 192.
About 192. So, I mean, you could still buy 5 trucks like you're driving right now, right?
Well, you would be realistically, you'd probably be I don't know. Let me see.
I mean, honestly, not all at once, but I mean, consecutively. And you're going to probably get 3 years out of each one. So 15 years. You're not going to get 15 years out of that 190. Not one of these newer trucks anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you would probably be more like 4 of them. By the time you buy this truck, you pay, all the fees, you put the warranty on it. I mean, I'm after all said and done, I'm probably 50,000 into this truck by the time,
Oh, okay. But that 190, does that include FET?
Yeah, that's the price you pay for the truck.
That's the price. Okay. I don't know.
It's not a bad deal if you want to spend that kind of money on a truck.
It's definitely not the worst deal. Definitely not the worst deal. I'll say that. I'd probably go for something like that before I would do a lease purchase from a carrier. Honestly, even if you're paying even money, at least you can leave with the truck. If you want to go somewhere else, that's a it's a big plus. With a lease purchase from a carrier, to put all that money into a truck, say you pay on it for 3 years, and you want to leave, you're just out. Your asset is gone. I just I have a real hard time with that. But
yeah, me personally, I don't think I would do the Waztec lease just because of the overall price.
Yeah, that's pretty steep.
But it's not a deal breaker. It's not it won't crush you. You can get by with that as long as the market stays somewhat reasonable. To me, it's just too much to pay for. I mean, I don't like taking the hit on a new truck, but if you're going to be an owner operator for the next 4 to 5 years, why not? Like you get yourself a new fuel efficient truck full of the bells and whistles and the warranty and the maintenance covered, But see, that's a big problem with me. I don't want somebody doing my maintenance for me because I want to do my maintenance. Right. That's one of my big things with lease purchase. Control your asset. Just go buy a truck,
Yeah, there's something to be said for having control of it, because if even if it's full maintenance lease, you take it in, you broke down, warranty is going to cover it. You have no say. They can set you aside till next week, next whatever, and there's just nothing you can do about it because you're not paying the bill. Or if you want it fixed a certain way, it's not going to happen. Or if you want to say, as long as you're doing that, do this, they're going to say, no, we can't. You have no say in it.
Right.
Not a big fan of that.
You also got to factor in one other thing with that lease, and that is the fact that after 4 years, that $680 a week after 4 years, there's a $47,000 buyout on it.
Right.
So to walk away with that truck at the end of 4 years, over that 4 years, you got to be saving an extra $1,000, basically.
Yeah.
A month.
A month, yeah.
So, if you do 680 times, 4.4 plus another 1,000, that's basically $4,000 a month for that truck.
It's better than 5 or 5,500, like some of them, right?
You can do worse because you will own it at that rate. After 4 years, you will.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because some of those you'll pay 5,500, and you don't even have the opportunity to own it.
You're renting it basically. So, like I said, there's some, there's some give and take there. Basically, if you pay $1,000 a week on that truck, you put $680 to the payment, and then you put the other $320 in a savings account. That way, at the end of the 4 years, you got the $47,000 right there. Boom, you cut them a check. They hand you a title. There's worse things you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I would rather somebody do that in the sense of making money with fuel prices doing what they're doing right now than to go out and buy a truck that's not fuel efficient.
It's true. Very good point. Some people spend more than that for a truck that's going to get 5 miles a gallon.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, okay, let's go buy a truck that's, getting 5 miles a gallon with fuel right now. Fuel in Wisconsin at Love's right now, what, 330, 340 a gallon? Like fuel's getting up there.
Yeah,
Almost
it's getting
$4.
stupid.
It's almost $4 a gallon at the major chains in Pennsylvania now.
Yeah.
Love's. I was in Love's yesterday in Pennsylvania, in Mifflinville, and it was 360. I want to say 368 cash price.
Wow.
So
We're gonna see $4 a gallon soon. I bet it is already in California. Vic Med, if you're still watching, you want to jump in here, come on in, man. I'll drop the link again. Like to hear about your fuel is out there in Southern California. Been wanting to talk to Vic for a while. He's a great guy. I was in his chat live stream earlier. Check out his channel.
If somebody else wants to jump in, I'll jump out. I think my voice is gone.
I'm trying to save you here. I might just wrap it up here. I appreciate you even trying.
Yeah, no problem.
That's probably pretty rough on you.
No Name says, you a little.
No Name says, how often do you run into bad fuel? What's the worst case scenario in a bad fuel situation? I don't run into bad fuel all that often. Obviously, I had a video there where I got some really bad fuel, had some water in it, a lot of water. I remember years ago, I got some really bad fuel down on an Indian reservation in Arizona. And where was that? Holbrook, maybe? I don't remember. But what's worst case scenario? Ooh, it can do some damage. Definitely, it can, that water or whatever can damage injectors. You could really damage the tips on those injectors. All kinds of stuff like that. Mostly, it's gonna damage your fuel system. But definitely try to stay away from that. I think that one bad tank of fuel I got in Arizona that one time, I ended up getting like 2 miles per gallon out of that tank. It was just, I don't even know what the hell was wrong with it. It was awful.
Ow.
I never bought fuel there again, even though it was the cheapest across I-40. Yeah, it was the worst. And then that bad fuel here I got recently at that Petro in Gary, I think something happened and a bunch of water got in their tank. It was awful.
So I'm looking at Mud Flap right now. There are a couple in California. They're kind of like Bakersfield and North right now.
Okay.
But
that's an improvement because they hadn't even been out there about a month ago.
Yeah, they've been adding a lot out west, I've noticed. I'm looking at Fifth Wheel Truck Stop in Fresno, California, $335 in California right now.
What's the pump price?
$340. I mean, it's only a nickel off, but man, that's a great price. Everything else out there is you're not going to get a big discount in California. It's just not going to happen. Like, but yeah, they're most of them are in like the Sacramento's got a couple. They're in that like 360 range.
Yeah. Marty St. Amor says he's been crunching the numbers on a full maintenance PACCAR lease. Yeah, I know. He says they're 12 cents a mile. I think that's for the maintenance. I think that other one that there's no mileage charge for maintenance, but they all do it a little different. I know a place I worked at a while ago. They leased the trucks right from Penske, and it was a pretty steep payment and 12 cents a mile. And you only got so many miles. When you went over that, it was a harsh penalty. The boss would routinely shut trucks down as not to pay that overage rate. Gary says, my guess is Mud Flap is going to be the best if you pay up front instead of credit. A lot of times it will be. But definitely check. When I buy fuel, I got 3 different things I check to see who's giving me my best price. So Marty St. Amor says, when I leased a 579, it was $1,200 a week. Wow, is that? And then on top of that, 12 cents a mile, Marty? That's pretty steep one right there.
I leased one of those 579s from PACCAR. Yeah. And you pay dearly to get out of it early too. I had to though. I had that freaking 10-speed transmission. It ain't worth a damn in those trucks. Like the worst. I paid dearly to get out of that. Good money though. The truck, at 65 mile an hour, the truck did everything it would do to get 7 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed with it. Didn't pull hills good. It was a PACCAR 13 set up at 455 horse. And yeah, I did not do well with that truck. Paid a lot for the lease, paid 10 cents a mile for the maintenance. And yeah, gladly wrote them a big fat check and said, here's your truck back.
Probably money ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marty says, yeah, it was like 6 or 8 a week, 6 plus 12 cents a mile. Okay. All right. 600 or 800 a week plus 12 cents a mile come out to about 1,200 a week. That's a pretty steep payment. Muhammad wants to know which truck stop has the best fuel. Honestly, it's a matter of opinion. It's hard to say the chain too, because, a Petro and Gary can have bad fuel, and then the Petro in Missouri or wherever can have great fuel. The fuel mostly comes from the same tank farms. So it's kind of a crapshoot a lot of times.
Yeah.
Mike says, one thing I'll add with a lease is you put all that money into it, and very few programs can you even afford to buy out the truck, even if market is lower on resale. That's true. Because when you're already paying $1,000 a week almost, it's hard to save that extra $300-400 for the buyout at the end over a long period of time.
That's what I was saying about that WazTech when, you pay $1,000 a week, but you're actually putting the money back to buy it out at the end. So
yeah,
there's something to be said about that. 4 years, you do walk away with a truck.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of them you don't even get the opportunity to do that.
Right. Yeah, it's not the greatest deal, but it's like say I'd do that way before I did a lease purchase with a company.
Yeah, I hear you. No Name says you've been learning a lot from both of us. Excellent source of info. Appreciate it. Well, thank you, No Name. Appreciate you coming in. Willie's Pub in here. Welcome. Top Dog Logistics. Welcome in. Mike says Lone Mountain. One thing you have to consider is you don't have to put 20% down like a bank finance. Yeah, I agree. That bank finance, though, last time I went through one, he gave me, I actually called him the other day because I'm thinking about financing a trailer. And if I do put the 20% down, I can get the 3.25% interest. So guess what I'm going to do? We're putting that 20% down because that's just about free money, at those interest rates.
Yeah.
Can everybody do that? No, I understand that, but banks don't like truck loans. They're about one of the riskiest loans that there is. So I don't blame them wanting that, wanting that 20% down. Besides, you got to have some skin in the game too. The repossession rate is ridiculous in trucking. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, Vic Med's just listening because he's on the desktop. Here we go. Here comes the man himself. If you want to bounce or you want to hang out there, Cash, I'll just put you to the side if you want. I know your voice is dying.
I think I'm going to bounce. Y'all don't have to listen to me clear my throat every 2 seconds.
All right. Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it. Vic's in here. Hey, Vic, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
Good. That don't look like you're on a desktop. That looks like a couch to me.
Yeah, my wife made me get off the desktop.
Well, she's got work to do. One of you's got to do some work in that house. I see her. Ever see her in the video in the background, all they're typing away? You sitting there playing with your friends online.
I got knots in the back of my head already. Can we leave that topic alone? Because she's sitting right next to me.
Front of your head still looks good. Aim for the front of her head. I don't know if you used to watch the Dukes of Hazzard when you were younger, but we're just hanging out here at the bar at the Boars Nest.
That's my car right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. So I'm glad you finally came in, man. I've been thinking about asking you for a long time, but I didn't think you'd ever do it, and I'm glad to talk to you. Everybody, this is Vic Med. He's got a channel. He's from Southern California out there. Does a lot of different things out there. A lot of local work, port work, container work, Amazon work, all the different mega carriers work. Got a bunch of trucks on the road, and is a great source of information for anybody, company driver or owner operator, all from the business stuff to the maintenance stuff to the teaching people how to do that port work. So definitely check out his channel. And he's one of the two guys that kind of inspired me to do this thing. So I'm happy to have you here, and I appreciate that. And I got thanks. Glad to have the chance to tell you thank you.
I appreciate that. I'm glad I was able to touch somebody with my information.
Oh, I trust me, I feel touched.
So how's business for you?
You know, busy. Adding some trucks, and that's going well. Got myself and 2 other trucks on the road right now, and I'm working on got 3 more coming in here in the next maybe 1 next week, and then 2 more in the next month or so.
That's great.
Owner operators. So I'm out trailer shopping and picking up some more trailers, and you know what it's like trying to onboard somebody and do those checks you need to do and get the insurance lined up and all that stuff. So we definitely have the freight, and it's exciting and stressful all at the same time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So is that all you do is reefer work?
Yeah, we'll haul some dry freight in there too if we need to, but for now, reefer. You know, if somebody said I only want to do dry van, I'd probably make something happen there. But like my in-house customer freight is reefer, and up here where I live, that's where the money is. Because I live right in the middle of potato country, you know, cheese capital of the world, and basically also the paper capital of the world. So if I wanted to do paper, but it's reefer's busy. Reefer's busy up here.
That's good to hear. That is good to hear. Yeah, I see a lot of reefer guys, and they don't like doing dry van work, and they all tell me the same thing. You know, reefer pays more, and they're consistent all year round, or the dry van slows down.
I don't necessarily find that to be true.
No,
No, reefer doesn't always pay more. It seemed like last year reefer rates were pretty bad. You would think, oh, people always need to eat this and that, but it doesn't always pay more. Sometimes they level out in a weird way. Dry van's paying pretty darn good right now. I tell you what. But I don't got nothing against. Hey, if somebody wants to pay me money to do something, we're gonna do that. You know.
so is the reefer work consistent all year round?
You know, the potatoes definitely have their busy season, but one of the companies I'm hauling for is one of the bigger players in the game, so they're busy year round. So there's always work, but come harvest time and stuff, man, it's just banging. So that's pretty good. And then cheese is always. I just can't believe how much cheese they make and ship out. It's just ridiculous. That's such a big business.
That's
And
good.
actually, I prefer to do. It's cleaner and easier. You know.
Oh, that's real good.
So why is Southern California dry freight so slow right now? Do you suppose? I thought things were so busy out there.
It's the ports. It's the ports. We pretty much depend on the ports. The freight that moves around down here, it all comes out of the ports. And right now there's ships that are just parked out there in the ocean,
Yeah.
coming to the ports to get docked. So the faster they offload these ships, you know, the faster the freight will come out. And right now, for what we've been told is there's a lot of people in the port, them union guys, that are catching that COVID. So
Really?
I don't know if they're catching it or they're just, you know, playing on it so they can get paid, you know, for being off. I don't know.
That hazard pay. I suppose
Yeah.
the Chinese, before they put them containers on the ship, they go rub a little bit of COVID on them. Send it over here for us.
Yeah, so that's what's going on, and you know, them union guys, you know, they're milking it. They're milking it pretty good to offload them containers and put them on these chassis. So, but I mean,
Yeah.
the port is booming, but it's just not coming out fast enough.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that they're sending ships all the way around through the Gulf of Mexico or wherever to the other side of the country to get them things unloaded. They're sending them up to Seattle, all kinds of different places.
Oh shucks, because I know there's that big old issue right now in South China. So
What's that?
where the United States is over there with the ships and everybody else and their mothers and
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I know there's no ships coming through there. So yeah, they might be coming around. So we just got to wait on that freight right now.
Yeah. So Amazon kind of died off then, I see. Um, you would think they'd have something going on because you know how busy they are, how big they are, but you pulled all your trucks out of Amazon for right now?
Well, I've never had all my trucks there. I kind of play with Amazon, when I don't have freight for the guys.
Yeah.
If I can't find freight, wherever I look, that's pretty much my last load board that I look to.
Okay.
But last week I did go into one of their facilities all the way into the warehouse, and it was just like a ghost town in there.
Yeah, that's weird. You would,
Yeah.
but I suppose a lot of their stuff out there is going to come out of them containers,
Exactly.
isn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Are they that slow around the rest of the country? Do you know?
I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you, but down here they're ridiculous slow. Ridiculous.
Okay. You looking for any drivers right now?
Yeah, I'm always looking for drivers.
How would somebody contact you? What's your email? I'll put it in the comments here.
MEDV 2837 at gmail.com.
.com. If anybody's in Southern California there looking for a job, want to work for somebody, got it going on out there, email Vic right here. Need some drivers. Don't we all?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. It can. How many trucks do you have going, and how much do you think you could handle with just you and the wife before you would say, okay, we got our hands full here?
I don't know, maybe 20.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're running 7 right now, right?
Is it 7? Right? 8 with the little bobtail.
Okay. Let me rephrase the question. How many trucks is your wife running right now?
uh,
She's gonna put you back out on the road.
As a matter of fact, I was out there today. None of my drivers wanted to work today, so I had to cover some loads that I had booked earlier in the week. So I had to go cover them.
Yeah. Have you ever tried? I know you probably have, but worked on getting your foot in the door at any of those places you go kind of direct, or have you had any luck with that?
No, I haven't, because down here, and I'm gonna be honest, down here, it's a doggy world.
Yeah.
So I've spoken to shippers, and I've tried to lay it down to them. Hey, I'll charge you this much. If you have this much, and Joe Blow comes in and he just blows me out of the water.
Yeah.
I try not to go too low. I try not to go too high, because of what I'm asking. If you have so much freight, through the week, through the month, then we'll go with this rate. But Joe Blow will come in, and they're just ridiculous down here. It's just hard. It's hard to get a direct shipper.
It is. That's kind of why people ask, why did I go the route I did? I hired somebody to do my outside sales for me, and they did it because I know what it's like exactly what you say.
Yeah.
It's a dog eat dog world, and I don't do it every day. Like, I need somebody who's like professional level. Otherwise, it's probably not even going to happen for me. So, yeah, everybody thinks it's so easy. You just walk into a place and ask them for their freight and say, "Here's what I'll charge you," and that's just not it.
No. And I talked to your guy, Paul, and it sounded good. He gave me his rate and everything. I was okay with his rate. But then when we kind of brainstormed it, me and the wife, we're like, you know what? Right now we're not big enough where we need that kind of help. So is just tie off and just wait a bit. So
Yeah, definitely keep in the back of your mind, and we should keep in touch over that. Tell you how it's. I give you the details and tell you how it's going for me. It's going well. I'm pretty open about it on the videos and stuff. But he's throwing me some stuff here that I
mhm.
didn't even really ask for, and they're good people to work with. Definitely on the ball and get results. But yeah, when you get to that point, um, you got to go with your level of comfort and confidence. And
No,
I didn't have it to get that done for myself.
no, and it was funny because every time I was trying to speak to him, I was busy trying to do something else, and I just got tired of blowing him off all the time. So I just told him, what, Paul, I just can't right now. I just
Yeah,
can't,
yeah,
because
yeah. When you're ready.
yeah, we just get stuck on the work, just to make
Yep.
sure everybody's making money, So it's hard for me to take some time off and just sit down and talk to him.
I would think, you're in one of the biggest metropolitan areas in the country. I would think there would be all kinds of box truck work down there, wouldn't you?
Right now, the way things are, it's just I don't know, for whatever reason, the beginning of this month, everything just died as far as dry van is concerned.
That's weird.
Yeah, yeah, it was. And I bought the truck thinking, because I'm looking at the boards and I'm looking at the freight that's available for this truck, and I was like,
Yeah.
you know what, it's a good market. Let me get into something different, because I like a challenge now and then. So it's challenging right now, that's for sure.
Yeah. What kind of, like, well, you're already in the business, so you're already in business, you already have your equipment, but what was it that kind of made you make the final leap into doing that? Just to
Like,
try it and see, or try and build something, or you're just taking a gamble, or
just a challenge.
yeah.
Yeah, just figured something different. Let me try it. I see the freight that's available for this truck.
Yeah.
Let's see what I can do with it.
I think you can make it work. I think you will make it work. It's just it's just like when you bought trucks the first time. It takes a while to find it and build the connections, but eventually you're going to hit right on that one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, right now, we're okay. CH Robinson's got some pretty good freight for it, so we're booking 2 loads a day for that little truck from CH Robinson. And then I'm looking into this other company called 3PL, and they're interested in the truck. So
It's not massive 3PL, is it?
no, no,
Okay.
it's
If you ever
just
see that
little.
broker run, they're a new broker on the board all the time, and they are nothing but a scam.
Oh, shucks. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, it's called massive 3PL. But they're ripping people off all over the place, I hear.
Holy stuff. That's not
But
good.
yeah,
That's not the way to do business. That's for sure.
no, Robinson should be the hookup for you, man. If Robinson don't have it, I can't imagine anybody would. What about FedEx? Is there any local FedEx stuff, or is that you got to be contracted to them?
You have to be contracted, but we got in touch with them, and we just didn't like their terms.
Yeah.
No, we didn't like their terms, and their pay is not the best. It's not the worst either, but I try to shoot high and then, work my way down. And these
Right.
guys just didn't want to budge at all.
Right.
So
Interesting.
I dismissed FedEx.
Now, do you own any trailers at all, or do you only do power only own?
We own 6 or 5, something like that. She knows.
Well,
But
honey, how many trailers do we own?
yeah, but
Or how many do you own, honey?
yeah, but there's so much power freight down here that I rarely use our trailers.
Okay.
But
Really interesting.
yeah.
See, I live in the middle of nowhere. There's really no call for that. I live in,
I mean, we work with CH Robbins. I mean, Schneider. We work with Swift. We work with Knight, and all these guys. That's all they ask for is power only.
Interesting.
I
And
mean,
you pretty much stay in that 50-mile circle, right? Or
yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, I can't. It's amazing to think that you could have a whole business and that much work and not go more than like 50 miles. Because I hear all the time, like you don't go to Bakersfield, you don't go to San Diego. I'm like, that's a pretty narrow scope right there.
And it surprises these owner operators that have been doing regional and over the road stuff that my guys can do 4 pickups or 4 deliveries in one day. It surprises people, but yeah, that's what we do.
How do they get it done in that traffic down there? It's insane. You just learn all the non-busy places to go.
You just move them out the way.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but yeah, it's that's the way it is over here. It's so much power only work that, I mean, trailers are not really necessary.
Okay.
I
Now you're
use,
running a. Oh, go ahead.
I use the trailers when it's an emergency.
Okay.
Like say one of my drivers is nowhere near these companies or nowhere near one of the customers that we use for that company: Swift, Knight, Schneider, Landstar, Uber Freight, all these companies. If there's not a company around there that we can snatch up a trailer, then I'll tell the drivers, shoot over to the yard, grab a trailer. But other than
Yeah.
that, we use somebody else's trailer all the time.
Yeah. Now you run a freight of strictly Freightliners, right? Do you have anything else in the fleet right now?
No, that's it. That's it.
Are
Freightliners.
are they all
Even,
Cascadias?
yeah, even my owner operators, they're all Freightliners.
Okay.
I
So
have I have one Cummins engine that, well, 2 now with that little box truck.
okay. So for the people that are wondering why, what is it that makes you run all Freightliners?
They're horses. They run. I mean, they run. They run. Something breaks on it, everybody has that part.
Yeah.
Uh, it breaks down, everybody knows how to fix that truck. I get me a Cummins engine, I get me a Packard, any other engine, I have to take it to a specific mechanic.
Right.
And if that truck needs road service, and then certain mechanic shows up and he comes out with, I don't know how to fix this engine, then it's not a good thing for me.
Yeah. It's probably no coincidence that most of your bigger fleets are mostly Freightliner. I mean, efficiency too. They're pretty efficient.
My son, he's a tech at Volvo down here in Fontana, and him being a tech, him knowing them Volvos like the back of his hand, he's never told me, buy a Volvo, Dad, buy a Volvo. Like, and I ask him, how come we don't buy a Volvo? And he tells me, no, they're always breaking down, and it's always something internal, so don't do it. So I don't.
Interesting. Yeah. So mostly DD. You got about some DD15, some Series 60, right?
I have a Series 60, I have a DD13s, DD15s, and Cummins.
Okay. Do you get? I imagine doing all that shorter local stuff. Your fuel economy isn't probably what the guys over the road are getting, are they?
I mean, yeah, we're getting maybe 5.5, maybe 6.
A lot of stop and go in there. I
Yeah,
imagine that's probably about right.
yeah. And then with
Now,
all the traffic,
are they all home every night? I've never really been able to figure that out.
every night,
Really
every night. And then
interesting.
I got some drivers that they don't want to go home. They just want to keep making money. So I'll run them for 2 days, maybe a night, and then after that, I just cut them. I tell them, you need to go home.
Yeah.
And they'll beg and beg for one more load, and I'll tell them, no, that's it. You got to go home, dude. You stink. Go home.
So a lot of people often say that smart people are willing to take advice. They always seek out the opinion of people that are smarter than they are, and they listen. So you've been doing this a lot longer than I have with the fleet thing and having drivers and employees. So me being relatively new to it, What kind of advice can you give me to?
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Don't give up.
Okay. How about like managing people and stuff like that?
Patience. Have patience. Have
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I mean, I got a good. I've not had any problems. I have pretty good people I'm working with, but you know, things are going to happen eventually, and you're dealing with so many different personalities. It can get really hard because sometimes you forget. Okay, I got to talk to this person a little bit different than I talk to this other person.
Because you also got to keep in mind, you're not only the boss, you're not only the dispatcher, you're that shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
And you got to be all that in one. And sometimes it's going to be hard, and you just, I mean, eventually you'll immune to it and you'll get the hang of it. Where, like you said, you have to talk to this driver in a certain way, you got to talk to this other driver in a certain way, but you'll get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you guys do a lot of factoring, or you quick pay? No, you do quick pays, right?
Yeah, we do all quick pays. We do no factoring.
Okay. Then you're not running into any capital crunches or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Interesting.
People
Yeah,
have
I'm learning. Learning a lot. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
People have tried to tell us, factor your bills and this and that, but we're okay doing quick pay. It's less paperwork for us, and we still get the money.
Yeah, I have not factored as of yet. I don't really care to, but been floating everything. But as things are getting pretty big here, we're starting to deal with some big numbers, and you know how that is. But so what kind of setbacks or challenges can I expect along the way, or that you have dealt with? Obviously COVID last year was tough, but
your biggest one is gonna be the trucks, just the breakdowns. That's gonna be your biggest issue.
okay.
I mean, shortage of money. You should. I don't think you'll ever be that. So I think that's everybody's biggest issues is drivers and breakdowns, because you can have 100 drivers, but out of that 100 drivers, there's only going to be one good driver.
And being a driver, coming from being a driver, I guess maybe sometimes I expect too much, or try to hold people to a different standard, and sometimes I have to understand that not everybody is the same. That's an adjustment also.
What I try to tell my guys is conduct yourself like an owner operator. Even though you're a company driver, conduct yourself like an owner operator. If you can figure it out yourself before you call us. Because eventually, what I try to do is I'm trying to get my guys to become owner operators. I don't want them to be company drivers for me. I want them to be owner operators. So that's the state of mind that I try to put them in.
Okay, makes sense. It prepares them too. If they ever do decide to make the leap, then they're already mentally there, and they already know how to do it from that point of view.
There's a guy that's been with us, I don't know, about 7 years, maybe a little bit longer. And after the first year, he talked about being an owner operator, and yet he still hasn't became an owner operator. But he thinks like an owner operator. Anything happens, he needs pickup number, delivery number, whatever it is. He'll call the broker himself and try to fix the problem before he calls us.
Yeah.
And that eliminates a lot of headaches for you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting.
So I think them are going to be your two major issues, just drivers and your breakdowns.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. Both my drivers so far are owner operators. I don't yet have company drivers. I don't know. It'll take a while before I make that leap. But they're my trailers, and it's hard to learning how to deal with stuff from so far away. If somebody's 1,000 miles away, that's getting kind of tough. But we're making it work, definitely. And
I think you should get you a company or two drivers.
Okay.
It'll be better for you. Owner operators they're good. Don't get me wrong, but company drivers you can blend them into what it is that you want.
Interesting. Okay.
Are you
I
gonna
didn't
make
think about that.
Yeah, are you gonna make more money having company drivers? Of course, but your job will be way easier with company drivers than owner operators, because owner operators you kind of have to keep your distance from them because they're owner operators, you know.
Okay.
But if they're company drivers, you're pretty much hands on with them.
Okay. So you're saying you probably personally make a little bit more off your company drivers than owner operators.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. I would have thought it would have been the other way around. It's good that you said that, because I was thinking, if they're paying for the truck and the maintenance and this and that. But yeah, I guess it can go both ways.
Honey,
No.
will he make more money off the company drivers or the owner operators?
I just
She's-
asked for you.
She's working. She's busy working.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. I just feel building a company, you have to have a blend of both.
Okay.
If you have a blend of both, you'll be able to deal with situations a little bit better.
Probably good advice. Somebody's asking here, do you do the W-2 or do you do the 1099 thing? I think you do 1099, right?
1099, yeah.
Okay. Is that you prefer it that way, or they prefer it that way, or how does that come about?
I prefer it that way because just like you, I was a driver at one time, and I work hard for my money. So
Mhm.
let me get all my money and I'll worry about the taxes at the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
that's the way I feel.
I've heard all sides of that, both sides, and largely I'm of the opinion I don't care. But I always say, if both sides agree to it, whichever way you go, who else's business is it? Number one. And everybody always says, well, if you're 1099 and somebody, you're not paying the taxes, blah, blah, blah. Well, you might have somebody that's not going to owe any. Maybe they got businesses going on the side. Maybe they got a different situation in their life. Maybe it's not a thing to them. Maybe they ain't worried about the taxes and that. But there's so many different ways to look at that. I just think people should work it out between themselves mostly. If everybody's happy, just leave it alone.
Yeah, that's the way I've always seen it. If the driver wants to get paid with the 1099, let the driver deal with the taxes. They say they don't pay taxes. They pay their taxes at the end of the year. They just don't pay them weekly.
Right. Yeah, everybody's kind of quick to kind of tell everybody else what to do, and I just figure, let people work it out between themselves. But apparently that's a touchy subject with people, I suppose.
But I think you're right. I mean, if we had a little bit more freedom as fleet owners towards our drivers, I mean, business would run a whole lot smoother. With all these rules and regulations that they're putting on us, it's just, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's your driver, and it's a customer or broker, and then there's somebody else sticking that fourth hand in there, trying to slap everybody, and it makes it really hard for people to work things out for themselves. Things would be way more efficient, and people might be happy. They might be able to make agreements between themselves that everybody is happy with without somebody getting involved. But I guess that's the world we live in.
And then what's crazy too, if you work for a company, right, and you go ask for a raise, what's the first thing that they're gonna tell you? You just got a what 60 cents raise, 6-8 months ago. We're paying all this, for you, medical and all, so even the mega companies are complaining because of that, because they can't give raises because they have to pay so many taxes. So let the driver deal with the taxes.
Okay.
If he wants his whole money that week, just give him his money and let him deal with it.
I can see that. Now, something I've always wondered, I guess I never asked anybody or asked you. So you're in Southern California. You don't leave the state of California. So you don't have an MC number. You just have a CA number, right? California intrastate.
No, we have an MC number.
Oh, you do have an MC number?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, if you didn't, if you only had a CA number, you don't leave the state, intrastate, are you still required to run ELDs? Because you're not
No.
an interstate carrier.
No.
You're not.
No.
Okay.
The-
That's
the
kind of what
thing-
I thought.
The thing is this: our insurance policy stipulates that we can only go so many miles.
Okay.
So FMCSA, even though we have the way the MC number works is you file interstate.
Right.
You file for your MC number. Once that MC number gets approved, you file again intrastate, and
Right.
you'll have your MC number still. But
Okay.
here in California, you can't just file for an MC number and just be in state.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta have
Why?
that CA number.
Why? That's retarded. Somebody needs to change that law because that's retarded.
Yeah. See where I'm from, you can get an intrastate without having an MC number. You can get in my state, it's an LC number. It's called a local cartage.
Mhm.
But I guess California probably can't do that. I used to have a California intrastate, and I gave it up because even though I don't live there, they wanted to be in my life. California is well, you live there. You know how California is a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, everybody watching owes Vic Med a little bit of gratitude during this whole AB5 thing. When California was trying to make owner-operators employees, Vic was probably the one in touch with the state of California legislature, riding their ass to try to get them to drop that. Lorena Gonzalez, you were up in there, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So everybody, any owner-operator here, Vic is the man. He fought that pretty hard and was probably one of the louder voices on it. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a headache. That's for sure.
I think it even, I might be jumping the gun here, but I think it even turned you Republican, didn't it? I remember.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Pretty good when you can flip somebody,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
make them change their whole way of thinking. How'd that work out? Didn't really go your way, did it?
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't. It didn't. But hey, we still have 3 more years to go. Let's see how this guy does, huh?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm right there. I'm on your side on that one.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah. I mean, what I could tell you, the best advice I could tell you, just keep at it. Keep at it, and you'll see. You'll conquer whatever it is that you want to conquer, and you'll be prosperous. Because this industry is not about quitters. This industry is about go-getters. And you seem like you're a go-getter, so go get it, man.
Trying. I just keep telling myself everybody started somewhere. I just keep telling myself, Donnie Schneider started with one truck. JB Hunt started with one truck. But not that I aspire to be that, but I see other people do it all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like looking at some of them like, well, if they can do it, I should be able to do it. But it takes a lot of, it's a big jump.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of courage to make that leap. And it's a big deal. You're laying it all out there and hoping for the best at some point. You did it. I kind of know how you did it with you and your wife. So you know what it is. You know what it's all about. And I'm sure at some point you had everything on the line too. At one point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could tell you a story where we went to Texas and bought a truck, and then 3 months later, that driver totaled that truck.
Oh.
And we went to Texas from California in a car, and it was my son and my wife and me, and we took turns driving over there, and I drove the truck back, and my son and her, they switched off trying to drive the car back to California. And yeah, this guy, we put him in the truck, and that was one of the blows that we took.
That's one of the things that worries me the most, to be perfectly honest with you. It's at a certain point you have absolutely no control over it. You
Right.
could be at home sleeping at night and that happens. and your world is upside down from that point on.
Yeah. But
I mean,
you know, you have to live and learn. You have to, you know, climb that hill, you know, in order to get to where you want to get.
yeah, absolutely.
So don't be surprised if, you know, you get a breakdown, or, you know, one of the drivers just says, you know, I quit. That's it. I'm done. You know, just
Yeah,
don't be surprised, because, you know, in this industry, you never know what the next man is thinking.
that's true. We had a couple small hiccups along the way, but I always tell the guys, I'm like, we can work anything out if
Yeah.
you got to be willing to. Can't be stubborn or mad, or like come in it with the right attitude, and just about anything can be worked out. Try to get people that understand that. So we'll see, but we're making a run at it. By the end of March, April, maybe probably be at that 5 truck mark, or maybe 6, and then in June probably a couple more. So I don't know. It's getting big fast, and tell you what, those numbers get pretty big and a little bit scary. I've been floating all the freight bills, and I don't know why I'm not more nervous about it than I am, because I should be really scared.
You know what? Me and my wife were just talking about that a couple of days ago. And when we filed our taxes, we were like, what the heck? What's this? You know? Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy.
Before you know it, you're a 7-figure business, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't make no $1 million.
Where is it at?
Yeah, it might have went through my hands, but I didn't touch none of it. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly.
So,
hey, but it was nice talking to you, man.
yeah,
Thanks
you too.
for having me on your channel, but I got to get back on that computer.
You mean your wife's got to get back on the computer? Yeah, take it easy, man. Let's keep in touch. I appreciate your advice, I really do, and thanks a lot for everything.
All right, appreciate your channel, and keep up the good work, man.
Yeah, thank you. You have a great night.
You too.
Yeah, bye. All right, that's Vic Med, everybody. Let's drop another link to his channel, and y'all go check him out. And seriously, he was one of the loudest voices against that AB5 nonsense out there in California. So check him out. Go over to his channel. Tell him you saw him over here, and he's a wealth of information and knowledge. So, well, we're about hour and 52 minutes into this. So we're gonna wrap it up. I'm kind of petering out here. Thanks everybody for coming in. Oh, Allie's got a question here first. Let's answer that. If I make 200,000, spend 60,000 on gas, 20% for the company, 20%, 20K for repair, and 10K for insurance, 90K left, how much should I pay for tax? Well, you're going to pay taxes on that 90K if that's what you have left after expenses. You might have some depreciation items there. You really need to sit down with a CPA or an accountant or a tax attorney. It's going to, your percentage, like if I ended up with 90K in profit and you end up with 90K in profit, we could pay different amounts in taxes. You got to understand that. So need to look at all your situation there, and definitely sit down with a professional. It's money well spent. It cost you a couple $100, but it could save you several thousand from doing something wrong. And then they'll tell you going forward what you should be paying quarterly. Definitely, IRS don't play, so definitely do things right with the IRS there. Thanks everybody for coming in. We're gonna wrap it up, and we'll see you next time.